Hi reception. Well, today I'm going to read you something from a book that isn't a storybook. It's called an information book or a non-fiction book. That just means it's not a story. Non-fiction means not a story. The other books that we read sometimes are fiction books. And they're stories that have been made up by different authors. We had this one made up by Morag Hood when Grandad was a penguin. And I know you loved this author, Trish Cook. And this is one of her books, Zoom. And they are stories that are made up. But in these books, we've got one here called Penguins. And I've got another one here called Egg to Penguin. And these books, they tend to have real photographs in, and they're not made up, they're telling us information. So these are called non-fiction books and they give us information. They also have blurb on the back. Remember, the blurb tells you what's inside, a little bit about what's inside. But lots of non-fiction books also have this very special page. And this page is called the contents page, and it has a big list in it. And the list tells you what's on each page inside the book. We don't have to read this book from the beginning to the end like we would a storybook, a fiction book. We can just choose a page by looking at the contents and having a read of it that way. So I might just want to find out about penguins, and I want to know, what is a penguin? What actually is a penguin? And if I look very carefully, I can find that title, what is a penguin? And it tells me the page number, and the page number is number 4. So I'm going to go and whiz straight through to page 4 to see what it says. And I want you to listen really carefully because I might ask you some questions about what you have heard today. Here we go, I'm on page 4. And can you see how a non-fiction book has got real photographs of real penguins inside it? Okay. And it has a title on the page. What is a penguin? So I'm going to read it out. It says here, penguins are birds, but they cannot fly. All birds have feathers and a beak, and they lay eggs. Most birds use their feathers and wings to fly. Penguins use their feathers to keep warm. They use their wings or flippers to swim. So it's like they fly through the sea, through the ocean. They call them flippers, not wings, to help them swim. Aha, that makes sense now. We've got a picture of a penguin with labels on it so we can see where the beak is, where the flippers are, and where the feet are. I remember that some of you had a go at drawing a penguin and writing labels, just like this non-fiction book. It also tells me that penguins live in cold places. They hunt fish to eat. And this is showing me some different penguins. This one here, this small one, is called a little blue penguin. That's its name. He looks very small, doesn't he, compared to this one? This one is a really big penguin. He's an emperor penguin. And they're both adults, they're both grown-ups. But look how small the little blue one is compared to the emperor. This penguin here is called a royal penguin, it says here. And he has some yellow feathers right on top of his head. And that's called a crest on his head. Remember, I don't need to turn the next page. I'm going to go back to the contents page and I'm going to have a look at a different one. I would like to see and find out, just like this penguin has got, a baby penguin. So I'm going to see if there's anything in the contents that tells me about baby penguins, or chicks as they are called. We've got a page here which says the egg hatches. And remember, penguins lay eggs and their baby comes out of the egg and growing up and chicks together. So I'm going to go and have a look at page, it's a teen number, a 1 and a 6. Which number is that? 16. You're right. You're so clever now in reception. You know all the answers to the questions. I will have to think of some more to challenge you. So, page 14, 15, and one more, page 16. Look where the egg is. Can you see in the photograph? The egg is sitting on the penguin's feet. I wonder why it's sat on the feet. Normally you see eggs in a nest, but this egg is sitting on penguin's feet. I wonder if it tells me why. The chick breaks out of the shell. It sits on its mother's feet to keep warm. Aha! The mother feeds the chick with food that was in her stomach. The chick is small and fluffy. This one here is a baby penguin, a chick, and he's fluffy, isn't he? His feathers are grey and he's all fluffy, just like it says here. And in the picture we have baby penguins hatching, and just like this one here, sitting on the feet of the grown-up, the adult penguin, to keep warm. And I think that must be why the egg is sitting on the feet of that penguin, because on the floor it's ice, isn't it? So it'd be very, very cold. The father, the daddy penguin, comes back from the sea. He has a stomach, a tummy full of food, and the mummy and daddy take it in turns to feed the chick. They keep it warm and safe. So there they are, feeding the baby chick. So mummy penguin, whilst daddy penguin is there looking after the baby, mummy penguin, the mother, will go off and go diving for fish and krill so that it can come back and feed its baby. And then daddy penguin will go off and do the same. Wow, I like it. There's so many pages in this book. Can you see all these little chicks huddling and cuddling together? Did you work out why penguins like to huddle and cuddle? I think you did, didn't you? It's to keep warm. That's right. So you can see them there. So, I've just read a couple of pages from our non-fiction book, and I didn't have to read it all, but just a couple of pages. I hope you enjoyed learning some of those facts about penguins, and I think some of you knew some of those facts already, but maybe there was one new one that you learnt today. Okay, I will be asking you some questions about this. I'd like to see if you listened well and can answer the questions. Okay. See you soon, reception.